In this lesson, we're going to make a few changes to the manager class, primarily. So the first thing we want to do is look at gross pay. Gross pay for a manager is different than it is for a other type of employee, although there could be a situation where a manager also gets paid the same as a regular employee does. What we might want to do is modify the gross pay method so that it takes a number of hours, and then it has a if statement that says if the employee is salaried, return the regular pay, else return their pay times hours, like so. This does allow us to use the fact that we've defined a manager differently than an employee, and we should pay them differently. And we can check to see if they're salaried and then determine their pay based on the value of that Boolean variable. Another change we might want to make is in the toString function that we defined for employee. There it is right there. For a manager, we might want to use the fact that we want to know if they're salaried or not. We might want to include some recognition that the employee is salaried. And again, because C++ is going to return a 1 or a 0 for the value of a Boolean variable, what we might want to do is create a string variable, then check to see if they're salaried or not. Like this, we're going to say and then here we'll say else salary equals hourly. And then right here in the string that we're going to return, we better use a delimiter like we did between name and pay. So now we can run the program. Let's do something a little bit different here. Rather than test all this, we want to test primarily toString. So let's see how that works. So let's build and run the project. Let me put this in position where you can see it. So for Bob Brown, we get Bob Brown, 1,500, salaried. Also pass it a gross pay. Like that. Let's add a little prompter or a little heading to let us know what we're doing there. And let's move that underneath the toString. I'm only doing that to exercise the gross pay function that we redefined. Let's build and run. We have an error. Let's take a look at what the error is. Expects hours now, so we'll put 0 there. Or we can put 40 actually, it doesn't really matter. We could put 100. But because he's salaried, it won't make any difference. So you see that his gross pay is still 1,500 even though he worked 100 hours because he's a salaried employee. So there were two examples of how we can work with protected data members in a derived class. And that wraps up this lesson, and we're ready to move to the next lesson where we're going to spend some time talking about creating constructors in derived classes and also our first introduction to the concept of a destructor, which is a function that runs when a program closes or an object is deleted from a program. And we'll look at both of those things, the constructor and the destructor, in the next lesson.